Hello, good evening. I am Jean Kochrat. I am a Tunisian romance writer. I would like to talk today about a specific topic. It is a health topic, and it's concerning a project which I'm thinking about. And this project is named Private Touristic Addiction Therapy Project. What does it mean? When I have enough money, if I could earn enough money in the future, I would like to create this private project for the people who are living in Tunisia or of some immigrant Tunisians when they become addicted outside of Tunisia to drugs, to alcohol, to cigarettes. So they could return to Tunisia and we can create maybe a private touristic addiction therapy center to protect them from the old historic time they have during drugs addiction, alcohol addiction, and different problems there. So this project I would like to think about. So it is simply it could be very benefic, especially for the young people who spend long time taking addictive thing, if it is in Tunisia or outside of Tunisia. First of all, asking the young people, how long time they were addicted to drugs, for example. How long time, to know the duration. Secondly, asking what different drugs were they addicted to this kind of drugs, means what are the different drugs they consummate during their life. Asking them, did they sell these drugs or not? It means, did they participate in criminal thing to sell drugs or not? If they did it, so they should not be mixed with the patients who are only consummating drugs. It means this center, it has two sections. Section for the people who had criminal thing to sell drugs, and section to the people who were not selling any drug but only consummation. So it's different from a patient to another. It's not the same thing, because some patients they have the profit to sell drugs, so it means they have their own projects with, and some others they are only consummating, so they are only victims, so they have no profit about anything. So I don't prefer that in this center I mix both in the same place or in the same room, the people who sell and the people who consummate only. So the solution is when some people they were doing a criminal thing as selling drugs. This center could create some specific private places to treat their own addiction to drugs. It means when they spend, for example, some years in prison, or if they paid penalty to tribunal by money, it means to replace to be judged in tribunal if it is by payment, or if it is in prison. It means when they spend some years in prison as a judgment that they were selling drugs, that they were having profit to sell drugs. After that, they could be in this center. It means, I mean, the criminal people. They could be in specific center. It's a tourism. It's a tourism, private tourism, addiction therapy center. One is for the criminal people, and one is for the people who are only consummating without any criminal historic thing. So, so for the people who were only consummating drugs, they never sell any drug, they didn't have any profit of selling any drug. or something. They didn't have any project of selling any drug. They are only consummating. So this, they could be 100% free. So it means they could go outside of the center. They could meet their families. They could during their residence in the center. But the people who were selling drugs, it means when they have some project of selling drugs, so this place, so it could be a contract, for example, a private contract therapy for a duration, for example, from it could be 1 or 2 months or 3 months. But during this time, they are not able to go outside of the therapy center. So it means if they have the reaction when they take some drugs, they have the reaction to make a business with. So I don't trust them really if they consummate some therapeutic thing in the center, that if they will not in the future they will sell it when they go outside the center. So one of the precautions of these people, if they were doing this reaction when they take some drugs, they have the reaction to think how could they earn as profit from. So this is not really the business of the center. If the center likes to help these people to avoid addiction to drugs. So this is my proposition, having two parts of the addiction center, therapy center. One for the people who have criminal historic, and one is only for the people who are addicted to drugs, so no problem. So I talk first about the people who are not having criminal who are not having a criminal history with drugs. They were only consuming drugs. As I said, they can for example, they can invite their families to their rooms. For example, if they like to invite one of the family to be in the room there, they can leave the center for for example, in the afternoon or in the evening, visiting their family in their own homes. They can invite some friends to visit them, so they are free, so no problem. But the people and when I would like to treat how the addiction to drugs could be treated really, if they spend long time being addicted to some drugs, and they pay so much money for drugs and all, and they have the conviction they could never, for example, study without drugs. They have the conviction they could not be smart without drugs. If they have the conviction they could not be strong without arts, they could not be artists without arts, they could not be fertile without eggs. So a lot of illusions about drugs, surely. So one of the therapy system about these people, so simply asking them first about nutritional thing before talking about the system of names of drugs and etc. Asking them what was, for example, the different meals which you was liking in the past when you was kid. What was the different meals? What was you liking to eat when you was a kid? How could you spend your time in the past when you was kid before taking drugs? How was you spending your time for eating? Asking them later, was you fat when you was kid? One of the question. Do you have some pictures of you when you was fat or when you was very weak? Was you very fat in the past or something like that? Was you having a complex that some friends say to you that you are very fat, not really attractive or something like that? So this is the second question. The third question is when you was kid, uh, who prepare the meals at home? Is it made by your parents or is it made by other one? if it is people who are working, if it is for housekeeping or something like that. This is the question. Who was preparing the meal for you when you was a kid? Other question is who go shopping and choose the meals for the home? The parents or other people? Who are the responsible about that to choose different brand for the meals? Third things, when you become adolescent, when you started to discover the pleasure to be adolescent, it means when you discover that you become able to discover the pleasure. Was you having some critics about some meals? When you eat some meals, do you have some critics from some colleagues? Do they are they linking some meals to some kind of pleasure? When you have some pleasure with some people, different people, or since you are adolescent, did some colleagues or some friends make the links between what is food and what is pleasure? It means as a private pleasure if you spend some private time with some friends. Okay, so what is the linking between meals and pleasure in your own time when you was discovering the pleasure? Third thing, was you having some memories about internet? Was you, for example, as a private, as for example, as alone in your room when you was adolescent, was you communicating what you like as a private thing with some special easy people? They like to earn money about a private thing. It means private easy people. Was you communicating your own preference, what is good, what is not about any pleasure? So this could be writing in the historic of the therapy. Okay. Was you surprised later that if some advertising is made in some TV channels talking about linking between what was you talking about your private thing with some easy woman by internet and after it becomes a meal? Was you having this behavior when you become adult and you discover it in some media? So give me please what is the name of the brand which you are supposing they were making espionage to your preferred thing, what is meal or what is pleasure. It means who like to make this one as a business. So these people should be judged in tribunal. So it's very simple. This is the right of this uh, young man or young woman when they have some private things. If it is with easy woman or easy man, it means their business is earning money from any private thing, if they do it virtually or not. And after they make the link in what is meal and what is their business, if it is in some advertising thing. So normally, as a rules in Tunisia, if some woman they have some virtual business as an easy woman or as not virtual as people who are working in easy places, never making a brand with the private life of their customers. This is a rule in advertising in Tunisia. When some people they do that, it means when they do espionage, if they are doing commerce about the private thing of some customers, it means they took their money. So if they are easy people, they are bad. So they took their own money. So why do they make a brand about private thing of private people? It is normal that some people they have the right to spend a great time with some easy people. It's normal. Anywhere in the world, it's possible to do it, if it is virtually or if it is in private places. But when some people who were working as easy business, they took their part of money, they paid the tax for that, but they should not make a brand to talk about any private thing of any customer to any brand if they like to sell it as a food. This is forbidden. It's absolutely forbidden in Tunisia. And the people who are on the way to do that, their only place is a jail. They don't have any other place. So, I asked this question to the addicted people. I say, did you have this experience? Do you suppose? So could you tell me exactly what are the links of these people who are working, if it is in private places or if it is they are working virtually? Could you give me the link? How did you discover them, and how was you sharing your own preference about private dream and things? And after it becomes a meal. Ah, okay. So please give me the name and give me the address. After, if these people, so this is the procedure to protect them against these easy people. Secondly, I ask them. It means the people who had addiction to drugs, alcohol, and all, asking them, was you shocked when it means if it is in advertising system, if it is in media, if it is in Facebook, if it is in any social media, that some easy people that are on the way to distract you mentally. It means to make you hate in your family, to make you hate in what you eat, to make you hate in your private dreaming time and all. Was you supposing that these people are on the way to do this as piracy? If yes, so give me their names. They should be judged in tribunal. So this is the procedure to do. And concerning the addiction thing, so simply is treatment by dietetics. Simply telling to this person what are the different dietetics you like to eat. We will try to do our best about dietetics that you be able to eat very well. And this center gives simply the glycine treatment, if it is a juice or if it is a tablet. This is a simple thing to do. Okay, so concerning the people who were selling drugs, so it is completely different. So the questions, it could be like these questions as a first when they become a victim about drugs, and after as you need when if they have some situation, for example, if they become very poor, or if, for example, they lost their parents, they cannot pay anymore for them, and if they travel to other place and they find themselves obliged to do this business. So asking what were the conditions to oblige you to sell drugs? What are the different reasons to oblige you selling drugs? So I should know all the reasons. If some people they lost their parents, if some people they travel and they found themselves without nothing, without job, without nothing. Okay, so we could make statistics. It means when we have more patients going to this center about the after they have criminal think about selling drugs, to know making statistics saying what are the most reasons to let these people to sell drugs, if it is in Tunisia or if it is outside of Tunisia. After that, every year I send a report to the Ministry of Justice in Tunisia saying, please try to find solutions for these people. Look how many people they are obliged to sell drugs with these reasons. How did they become so poor as being the only solution? The only solution is selling drugs for surviving, if it is in Tunisia or if it is outside of Tunisia. Could you find solution for that? If you are really, if really the justice is on the way to be justice, not only talking for talking. So every year I send statistics. I never say the names in this Santa private center. It's not my business to talk about any name. But simply, I say, look, what is as transparency think, if you are really meaning that you are making justice in Tunisia, Could you please treat these reasons which make these people addicted to drugs? If they are poor, if they lost their family, if as immigrant they are so poor, if they become so addicted to drugs, and after they find themselves obliged to sell drugs, could you treat this program, these reasons which made these people as only solution to sell drugs, and without telling any name? I don't need to tell any name. It's not my business. I earn nothing when I talk about names. This is the procedure of transparency. And the justice in Tunisia, the Ministry of Justice in Tunisia, so saying if really the judge there in tribunal, they are on the way to find solutions and to reduce the criminal things in tribunal, not only to accumulate the pocket of the lawyers. They like that these problems never be resolved, so they should, if really they like to find solutions, really, not only that the lawyers in Tunisia they become the richest people and only blah blah blah. So this is the procedure to do. As a center of therapy addiction, I have no interest to talk about any name. It's not my business. They are simply customers. But I say exactly what are the rules. And before they come to this addiction center, if I create it, I didn't create anything yet. I don't have enough money for doing anything. But if I created this, which I will do, every year I send statistics about the criminal history of some patients there, telling what is the reason, what is the principal reason which made them addicted first and which made them obliged to sell drugs. If they are really this Ministry of Justice in Tunisia, if they are really on the way to find solutions. But if they are only on the way to accumulate the money in the pocket of the lawyers without finding any constructive solution, so it's really crazy. So this is my opinion, Jian Koshrat.